Okay, the Houston Rockets have been getting very little respect heading into this year's playoffs. And I think it's unwarranted, but I understand exactly why that is. And let me tell you why. Is it because experience that they haven't been there with this current roster? Yes, but I think it's much more than that because in reality, they have NBA champions and guys who have been parts of deep playoff runs on that team. You got Fred VanVleet, you got Jeff Green, you got Dylan Brooks, etc. The reason that they get such little respect is because you could match them up with any playoff contending team in the West, and they would not have the best player on the floor in any of those matchups. And that could be argued to be true going down to the 10th and ninth seed of Dallas, obviously, and even the Sacramento Kings, right? So let's look at this. Against OKC, if they were to match up with them, Shade obviously be the best player. Against the Lakers on the 3 seed, you got LeBron, you got Luka. Those two would most definitely be the best two players in that series. Then you go to Denver, obviously not. Then you go to the Clippers, Kawhi Harden, obviously not. Then you go to Minnesota. No, Ant would be the best player in that series. Then you go to the Warriors. Obviously not. You could argue that both Jimmy and Steph, especially playoff Jimmy, as he's been known to be called, would be the best two players in that series. Even against Memphis, Ja would be considered the best player in that series. Quite arguably, Jaren Jackson may be considered better than Sengun or Jalen Green. So when you go down the list, the reason why they are not seen as a legitimate threat is because they will not have the best player in any series, right? And that's just the reality of the situation. They do have experience. They do have a great balance between young players and NBA vets with experience, and I think that's going to pay them dividend in the playoffs. And I see them as a legitimate threat to beating the Warriors. The reason being is because they can defend their butts off. Now, where they are going to have struggles is closing out games. Playoff games tend to be close, right? Especially in competitive series like when you match up the Warriors and Houston, right? So I imagine down the stretch, if you had to bet, you're going to bet on Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler closing out a game over Jalen Green and Sengun, and that's just the reality of it. So that is my spiel on the Rockets. I think they are legitimate, but I think where they fall short is they don't have a legitimate number one guy to really take the pressure off them down the stretch, and that's just what it is. Peace.